So how you feeling, Daniel?
It's been a rough shoot so far. As you can see, it's been a long morning. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video where I break down my process on how I make my videos and take my photos. And today we're going over how I made this no-budget Wes Anderson style music video. So first things first, let's watch it, make it full screen, turn the volume all the way up, and sit back and enjoy.
Second story window, cut off our hair and strip out of our clothes. Go get lost in the woods where you grew up. I just wanted to do it with you. You know that I'd do anything just to make you the happiest person. Maybe then you'd stayed. We could have had the perfect home, a little two-story White House where we'd raise our kids with a dog. They could run and play in the yard and throw water balloons at the people who pass by in cars. Would have been a merry life if you had stuck to our vows and lived a merry life. You couldn't
I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and the musician that I worked with on that music video, his name is Hugh Lindsey. He's an awesome guy, and him and I met a while back at a friend's gathering, and we just really hit it off with creativity and our passions and talking about stuff like that. And we just got to talking about doing a music video and collaborating, and that's how this whole thing was born. So the main inspiration for this video came from a Wes Anderson cinematography style, and we wanted to mash it with Hugh's branding style for his music. Since he's been posting on TikTok and Instagram a lot, he's had this look and feel that he wanted to keep, and it kind of went along with that whimsical, fun Wes Anderson style. And me personally, I can't stand a cliche music video where someone's just performing the whole time, or like rapping at the camera and it's just shaky shots with a gimbal and they're like pushing in and out the whole time and that's all it is. I think those get boring like really fast. To get the right mindset and to get the right mood going while we were making props for the music video, we literally watched just Wes Anderson movies the whole entire time, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So the pre-production for the music video was a ton of fun. We basically just met at a coffee shop once or twice a week for like 3 to 4 weeks. This is probably one of the most fun pre-production processes I've ever been through. One thing that made it really easy was using the website Milanote. This video isn't sponsored by Milanote. It's just an awesome website with like incredibly powerful tools. So let's hop in Milanote real quick and I'll take you through how we organized everything and went about the whole pre-production process. All right, so here we are in Milanote, and you can see I have a bunch of other boards for other things I'm working on. But here I have the Wait For Me, If You Will music video. So first we have the wardrobe here, where we basically wanted to see how he would dress during the performance shot. And we have little notes, which is cool, so we can kind of identify what we want to do. And another cool part about Milanote is that I can share it with Hugh up here as an editor, and I'll see his cursor moving around, and I can see him making changes live, just kind of like Google Drive would or Google Docs. And then the color palette here, I wanted to get a clear cinematography kind of color grade style going, so you can peep over here and see that I took some inspiration from Danny Gevirtz's video he did with Noah Guy. So shout out to you, Danny. Thanks for the inspiration, man. So moving on, we have the character board, and that is the sunflower head you saw in the video. And that was a huge thing we wanted to make sure we got right in the music video, was this character who was gonna be kind of in the background or off to the side of the shots, just kind of helping Hugh and being eerily there in the frame, but never the focus or the center of the frame. And we really wanted this character with not much of a personality to always be there with Hugh, helping him, instead of having like a girl or a partner or something typical you would see in a song that's about like a relationship or something that people are going through. And then going down to production here, we have our production board, where we have Hugh's to-do list with due dates, which is awesome. Then we had our volunteers needed list, our shoot schedule to make sure we had an actual schedule to stick to, and our props and equipment list. And the best part about Milanote is there's an app, and you can pull up these lists in a simpler format on your phone, so you can have it anywhere as long as you have internet. So it's pretty sweet. And then in the shot list here, we basically just copy and pasted the lyrics into this column. This really helped me kind of visualize the storyline and the storyboard of the music video. So that's basically it for Milanote. It was a huge help. It was my first time using it for an official production, especially one this big, and it made the process super easy. Again, this isn't sponsored by them. I just love it, and yeah, I recommend it. So production was an absolute blast. So we had a small crew show up super early at about 4:30, 4:45 to set up before the sunrise. All right, so it's like 4 a.m. right now, and I just woke up to head over to my buddy's house, who is the artist that I'm gonna make my first music video for. So let's go. What up, dude? Well, when you're a hot shot like me, making massive productions like this one, gotta make sure you show up with a mug like this to let all those peasants on set know that you're above them, okay? Little hat here, coffee break. That's right, everyone knows I'm boss with this mug. And we had some amazing light coming into the house, and just outside the house in the backyard, we just really used that blue hour right before the sun came up, and then right when the sun was kind of popping over those trees in the horizon to get our morning looking shots. And things went super smooth, and we shot the rest of the morning, and then we broke for lunch and had lunch catered from some people that Hugh connected with, and it was a lot of fun. Everyone had a lot of fun on set, and it was just a good environment, good vibes, and it was a ton of fun. So now we're just gonna hop in the timeline and Premiere, and I'm just gonna take you through shot for shot and just kind of break down what we did and how we did certain shots and the story behind them. Okay, so the first shot we have is this establishing shot of the house in the background where Hugh comes running in, and this shot right here is inspired by his TikTok videos. He always performs it from this angle on his phone, just a snippet of each song, and people are really used to it. It's part of his branding, so we really wanted to incorporate that in the video. And so this was the opening shot, and we do kind of like a push in with the gimbal as he runs in, which is kind of that whimsical, sloppy style, which is a lot of fun. And a little Easter egg here for you too, is we wrote the name of the song we're shooting here, Wait For Me If You Will, on the guitar. So I really like that touch right there, if you picked up on that. I think that was Hugh's idea, and my girlfriend actually wrote it on there, so shout out to her for good handwriting. But yeah, after we did that dolly track push in right there, we go into this drone shot where I kind of mimics like a techno crane shot where it kind of comes down and then meets the subject. Could have been a lot smoother, but the sun was getting pretty high and the fog was burning off, and we really didn't want to lose some of that fog in the background. So yeah, I just shot this with my drone. I shoot with a DJI Mavic Air 2, I think it is. And not the most glorious drone, but it turned out great, and I was able to match the coloring to the other shots, which on the other shots, I usually don't speak about gear too often, to be honest, but I did shoot with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro. That's the new one that came out somewhat recently, and I absolutely love it. So moving on, we have this shot where they kind of ride from right to left. And my only complaint with this shot is the shutter speed obviously is at a 180-degree shutter angle. I kind of wish I would have accounted for that. Either a higher shutter speed or maybe just kind of moving along with them or something, but it ended up getting the point across and working okay. And just a quick note on these wagon shots, Tommy, our sunflower head guy here, has to ride this actually really old bike that is really hard to pedal and has no handling whatsoever. And pulling Hugh in this wagon was the most difficult thing ever, and it was so hard to get it going that we couldn't shoot this scene on a flat surface, and definitely not an uphill. So we had to find a slightly downhill section, and it was only like 30 or 40 feet we had to work with, especially on this drone shot here. So Tommy was a champ, and we had to communicate just on speakerphone back and forth on when to go. And
yeah, we'll probably need to come all the way back so we can go downhill again from there.
All right, that works. Yeah, we'll just wait here for you.
Yeah.
We made it work, and we got it done, and I think it looks really good. And then we go into this laying in the grass shot, and I just got a ladder and basically held my Blackmagic on a tripod into my stomach to keep it as still as possible. And then I warp stabilized it in post just to make sure there was no movement at all. And that worked out great. It looks like it's actually on sticks, but it's not, it's handheld. So a quick note on this shot and a couple other shots in the video. We have a theme where we start a concept or an idea in the beginning of the video, and then later in the video when that verse comes up again, or that chorus comes up again, we would show the continuation of that shot. And we kind of wanted to break it up like that, where we give you a little snippet of what is happening in the beginning, and then later in the video we finish that idea. So moving on, we have this Wes Anderson kind of feel where we're nice and tight just on his mouth for a couple lines, and then it punches out to the main shot here. This shot took a couple tries, mainly because Tommy's reflection was in this window back here, and he had to pour it perfectly without spilling, and it took a few tries, but he nailed it, and it worked out really well. And then we have this shot here where we're inside, and we wanted to show kind of like a vintage retro way of showing a phone instead of having like iPhones or something like that. So we went for this old cord phone where Tommy kind of reaches in and pulls it away. And then moving on, we have this scene where we have a continuation later on showing his upper half. And the original thought for this scene was to have Hugh running away from the camera through a field naked, and you would basically see his bare butt running away. And I thought it'd be kind of a fun idea. The inspiration for me was from the movie El Dorado, when the monkeys steal the two con men's clothes and they're running after them. I think that scene's hilarious. Yeah, so we shot this scene here with just a balance board off to the left and the Blackmagic on sticks. And coincidentally, my girlfriend showed up to the shoot right at this time when Hugh was standing in his boxers, and this was the first time she was meeting him. It was just a really funny way for them to meet for the first time. So then we go back into this performance shot here, and we have a couple performance shots in only 2 locations. We didn't want to overdo it with it. We wanted more storytelling shots. And here's the second performance shot, is in this open field. So then we go into this interior shot, which we shot in the morning with this awesome sun rays here popping through. And again, Tommy the character is just in the back, kind of filling up these water balloons and handing them to Hugh, foreshadowing what is going to come up next in the song. And we just kind of hazed up the room to accentuate these light rays coming in. One thing I wish I would have done differently is just kind of key light Hugh's face here a little bit more. So I ended up tracking a mask on him, kind of bringing up that exposure and highlights on that. And that's my only complaint about this scene right here. All right, so for this shot, we threw him on the roof, and again, it's that Wes Anderson kind of close-up showing you the character and then punching out to the full house. And this was one of those pickup days towards the end of our energy levels, actually. It was getting pretty rough waking up that early. And again, we have the character kind of walking away on the side of the house with the ladder, implying he helped him get up there. So then we move on to the indoor again. Again, the sun rays, a little haze. Morning shot coming in behind him. I've got a small key light right here with aperture MC, and again we're doing the chest shot, a little close in, and it punches out. And then we have this shot, which we shot in slow motion with my Sony a7 III actually, which cannot do 4K slow motion, and I wanted the 120 frames per second. And this is a 4K timeline, so I was concerned about it not looking high res enough whenever I upscaled the 1080 120 to a 4K timeline, but it ended up looking great. And as you can see, I mean, as long as you nail the focus and the lighting is good, then it shouldn't look too much different than your 4K image. But if you notice here, we did this shot 4 times. We did a bunch of takes on it, but this one ended up being the best one right here. We shot it, mid-morning, probably about 8:30, and yeah, I think it's like a great shot. And you can see there's a little bit of a pullback on the shot, and that's just keyframed in. It was a totally locked off shot. And then we go back to the performance shot here in front of the house, into the next indoor shot here where the mail is falling. Again, I have a keyframed pull out camera movement in there. It was just a locked off shot again. And this one was again with the a7 III at 120 frames per second, 1080. And this one ended up being amazing anyway, because the sun rays coming through were unreal. It almost looks like CGI or it's fake, but it's not. I mean, it's just a little color grade here, and that's it. And then we have this kind of funny scene where the character is off to the side dumping the mail on him, which I think is kind of a funny idea we came up with. So moving on to the next shot, we have a shaky handheld performance shot, which is personally my favorite. And then we go back into the continuation of the grass shot, showing the imprint of the person laying next to him, which is super deep, and I think that's a great storytelling element right there. A lot of this video is implied, or you need to read into it and listen to the lyrics, listen to the music, and just kind of put it together through that, and there's a deep story in there, and I'll kind of let you guys just figure that out. And you can leave comments down below on what you think certain scenes mean, or if you pick something neat out, leave it down below and let me know. And then we go back into the porch shot where he's drinking the coffee, but this time he's drinking his mug the whole time while a second mug is being filled up by the character, again implying this person who's not there with him. So then we go into the whole throwing the phone into the second story window. That was literal. We just chucked this retro phone out the window, and this was a really fun shot to do. Had Tommy, the character, go chuck it out the window about 3 or 4 times, and the phone was actually pretty messed up by the end of it. And but I think this is one of my favorite shots. And then we go into the continuation shot of Hugh being naked, but this shot we definitely took the concept of implying that he is unclothed completely, and then the whip over to the character. The whip was just done on sticks, and it was on the black magic, so the shutter angle just made that nice kind of motion blur, and then I ended up just nailing it after a couple tries right on the character. And he's not totally centered. It could have been a little bit better, but it definitely gets the point across. So we go back into a handheld performance shot here, again one of my favorites. And then we go into the locked off shot here with Hugh, where on each ooh or beat, the clones of him come in. And then we go into the ending shot here, which we had the idea of basically recreating that intro shot, but in reverse, where I back up with the gimbal and then track him out into the wagon, and they take off together into the road. And here we just have a bounce board off to the left, kind of filling in those shadows on his face, since he's somewhat backlit with the morning sun. And I think it ended up looking really nice. And you can see here that I back up with the gimbal. He goes out of focus for just a split second, and I pull focus, and after a lot of tries, I finally nailed the focus on him. And the struggle was that when I pulled the focus, it shook the camera quite a bit because it's pretty front heavy on my gimbal, but a quick warp stabilizer in Premiere fixed it completely. I was shocked it worked that well, but it took out all the camera shake from me trying to pull that focus. And then here he just tracks him to the right and gets in the wagon, and then he pulls off. And then a fun little treat I threw in at the end of the video is the title reveal as he rides away. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. This music video is a ton of fun to make, and I will definitely be making more with Hugh in the future, and we actually already have one in the works for another song that isn't even completed writing yet, but it's incredible. There's a snippet of it on his TikTok, so go check him out, show him some love. I'll link all his stuff below. So go check out my other videos where I break down my process on other photos and videos that I've created. And if this video helped you out and you learned something in any way, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for me, show me some love, and that way you'll be notified when I come out with more of these, as I'll be breaking down a lot of my other productions that I'm gonna be on coming up here. Also follow me on Instagram if you wanna see everything I'm doing. I do a lot of work for brands on social media. That's where a lot of my stuff lives. So thanks again for watching, guys, and sticking around, and just go out there, be creative, be good people, do good things, and I'll see you in the next video.